Hello, my name is Pádraig Shelley. In January I was one of 7 diocesan Trócaire representatives who travelled to Honduras with Trócaire staff to prepare for this year's Lenten campaign. As you can see, this year's Trócaire box features the story of a young girl from Honduras called Digna. The reality of life for Digna and for her family, poverty, fear of eviction and the struggle for land rights is far from easy, but is not without hope. Trócaire is working with families like Digna's, helping them to secure their land, earn a living and build a better future. And this is all thanks to the support given to Trócaire here at home. The purpose of our trip was to see firsthand how Trócaire tackles issues like poverty and land rights at the local level, and to see how the funds raised at home make a real difference to families and communities. I hope that this video can convey something of what we were shown on your behalf. As you can see from the map, Honduras is situated between the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. It is bordered by El Salvador, Guatemala and Nicaragua. It has a population of over 7.5 million people in an area slightly larger than Ireland. In 1998, Honduras was devastated by a hurricane called Mitch, leaving more than 5,000 people dead and another 1.5 million without homes and livelihoods. Honduras has remained extremely vulnerable to natural disasters, and in particular hurricanes and flooding. At present, Honduras is the third poorest country in Central America and the Caribbean, after Nicaragua and Haiti. What does that statistic mean in real terms? Well, almost 40% of the population live on less than $1 per day. That's 73 cents a day in our currency. And as you can imagine, existence for many people is simply hand to mouth. During my visit to Honduras, I had the privilege to see firsthand the kind of projects that are funded from what goes into the Lenten Trócaire box each year. Health projects, education initiatives, housing projects, rural development schemes, the advancement of people's human rights. One health project that was especially memorable was called the Siloé Centre. The health centre is run by a Mexican nun called Sister Rita. She has a small team around her, Santiago, Fernando, Waldo and Lena. And between them they work in the field of natural medicine, drawing upon the natural resources and the local environment. The centre sources many of its ingredients locally, such as natural honey, as an ingredient for their medicines. It's an interesting fact that some years ago Trócaire funded the training of a number of beekeepers in the region who now actually supply honey to the centre for its medicines and nutrient-rich supplements. So not only do the local farmers benefit by sales of their honey, but the centre benefited also. As well as caring for the many callers to the centre and providing medicines, the centre works at researching the best nutrient-rich supplements for those who suffer from HIV and AIDS. As part of a broader reach out into the community, the centre also trains primary healthcare workers to work in their native villages throughout the region. And this means that 35,000 people have access to medical care, something that maybe they could never afford if such a project was not in existence. It was the initial backing of Trócaire of funds that enabled this whole project to take off from its infancy. Sister Rita made a simple comment to us as she brought us around the centre. None of this would have happened if Trócaire hadn't seen its value. We had no funding. Trócaire had the vision to see the good we do locally, and they were the ones who got us off the ground. Trócaire also invests in local education projects. Radio Progresso is a community radio supported by the Jesuits that has served a vast listenership throughout Honduras for almost 40 years. Many people in Honduras received maybe only a couple of years of formal education. Ongoing adult education is needed, and Radio Progresso assists its listeners with this task. In El Progresso, the radio is known as the teacher in the home. People learn different tasks, everything from their legal rights to making compost at home via the radio. And it's a vital link that enables people to learn and to stay in contact with each other. And you enable this good work to continue. The rights of the poor, the rights of women, are continually under threat in Honduras. If people gather together in solidarity, they create a stronger entity. I experienced an example of such strength in numbers when I visited the community of Jardin Clonal, near San Juan Pablo. It's a small farming community which was initially made up of 54 dispossessed and landless women who had nowhere to live. In Honduran society, women are particularly vulnerable. If the man of the house leaves, then the woman may find herself having no legal claim to any property. Overnight, they can become homeless, along maybe with their children. The women freely acknowledge that only for Trócaire, they would probably still be landless and homeless today. It was Trócaire's support that afforded them the opportunity to engage a lawyer so that they could secure their own land. Once on the land, this little community of just a handful of families needed to begin to fend for itself. Over the years, they built up their farm from very humble beginnings to a farm that now has 50 head of cattle. One of the women smiled as she recounted that her farm began with a clutch of chicks that was a Trócaire Christmas global gift. I suppose for the first time I realised how the global gift campaign can make the difference between a community surviving or not in the developing world. When I heard this woman, I wondered whether the person back home who bought this global gift realised the great good they had achieved by their kindness. Trócaire monies enable communities to get back on their feet, and at times even the seed monies given to a community can keep on giving. The Alonso Ruby project was an example of that fact for me. Alonso Ruby is a non-profit regional development housing project. Following Hurricane Mitch in 1998, the region was devastated, leaving countless families homeless. With seed capital of €30,000, land was acquired and houses built. This was very much a partnership project with the local people and Trócaire. A cooperative was formed and the community assumed full responsibility for the project, guided by Trócaire staff. The monies have not only made and truly benefited many individuals, but as much of this capital has been repaid, the money was regenerated to help others. And so as I speak, a number of families enjoy new housing, and as the photos show us here, other families will benefit from the same money over the months and years ahead, as the first group of families pay back their loan to the community. And as you can see, the difference between the new and the old housing is dramatic. The new design is built on stilts to protect from flooding. Maybe what you can't see from the photographs is the gratitude of the people. Each family we met just wanted to pass on their thanks to the people of Ireland for helping them and their families find solid shelter in their hour of need. Our group returned to Ireland with a far greater understanding of the work that Trócaire achieves in the field. It was an education for all of us to see firsthand the projects that help change lives and bring hope to so many. It was a privilege to walk even briefly with such good people, and something that we were grateful to have experienced.